I did try to ask it for a recipe for erotic lasagna.
How old were you? Old enough to be
seventh grade.
Young enough to be touched by a Catholic priest.
Yeah, definitely desirable.
I mean, you got twice as many boobs than asses.
The next day, I was visited by some guys from the fire department who said, "Don't do that again."
What are you guys doing over here? I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. We are all going to jail. You know? So my mom got me a bunch of vitamins recently.
Yeah.
I think it was like some fish oil, which I already had a million things of fish oil. And then like maybe a multivitamin, something else, magnesium. And she gave it to me recently. She was like, oh, take this every day. She even gave me one of those like old people Monday through Sunday, you know,
The
things.
organizers, yeah.
The organizers. So I've been taking that, and I thought, well, since I've been doing this, I might as well also take some of the other supplements and vitamins that are already in the cabinet at home that you and I have kind of stocked over time that I just kind of forgot about. And so the other day, I think this was on Monday, I took the vitamins she gave me, and then I also pulled some magnesium and then some other like relaxation focus vitamin bullshit. And I took all these things. I ended up taking like 10 different vitamins and supplements all at once.
Okay.
For like the first time in ages, right?
On an empty stomach?
I think maybe I had a light breakfast.
Okay.
And then I went for a hike.
Oh, no.
And everything was fine, you know, enjoying the hike. You know, I was getting a good workout. And then on my way down, my stomach kind of does this thing where it's just like, yo, we need to shit. We need to take a pit stop. And I'm looking around, I'm like, well, there's really no pit stop unless, you know, this bush right here that many people are passing per minute.
It's a busy trail.
It's a busy trail. And I was like, you know, I'm fine. It wasn't that pressing at the moment. So I keep going down. And as I'm getting to the bottom of the hill, the mountain, it's getting more and more
urgent.
And like my pace starts increasing a little bit.
Which is a mistake.
Well, is it though? Because you don't know. Like that's the thing. It's like I've always been torn anytime I'm in that kind of situation. Do I go slow so that it doesn't move my bowels around as much and it doesn't force it out? But then it also takes longer to get to the nearest toilet. Or do you just gun it in the hopes that you'll get there in time, but also like moving your insides around and just kind of like squeezing it out,
agitating the situation,
agitating the shit out of it. Yeah. So literally, I ended up just hauling ass. At some point, I was just gunning it as fast as possible. And even like there's like these ladies that always sit out every morning in front of the trail, and they see me every morning. We wave hi. They must have been like, "Wow, he's really putting in some extra oomph today. You know, he's really going for it." And I'm just like, yeah. And I'm just like hoping to God that every person I pass by, like nobody asks me for directions, because it happens all the time. Like, oh, like where's the, the trail or whatever? Where's it headed? And like, I was already preparing answers as I was writing down. I was like, I'm just going to be like, it's just keep going up. You'll get there. And
that's so considerate,
dude. I almost fumbled my keys at the door. It was that bad. I felt like a 80-year-old man who just couldn't control his bowels whatsoever, and I barely made it. I mean, like the stuff was coming out before my cheeks even hit the toilet seat.
Yeah, I've been there.
You know,
I know
it was that. It was literally that, and I don't know what it was, but it was.
I do.
Yeah. What was the magnesium?
Yep.
I had a feeling because I was like, am I taking too much magnesium right now?
How many of those did you take? 3.
So I took 2. I took 2 from one bottle, and then looked at the instructions after like an idiot, as I usually do, and it said take 1 daily, and it's like, well, shit. And then I the relaxation and focus one that I told you about. Mm-hmm. Happened to also have like 1,000 milligrams or 200 milligrams of magnesium in it already. So I basically took 3 pills when I was supposed to take 1. I took triple the amount, and my body wasn't used to it whatsoever. And it made itself known.
That's magnesium, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. So yeah. Have you ever shit your pants?
Yes, actually. And that actually ties to the do you slow walk it? Or do you run? So I was
I'll get there.
As a youth, I was at I think a Sam's Club with my parents, and I wandered off, and then I found myself needing to take a dump.
How old were you?
I was still wearing tighty whities, so I want to say must have been
Old enough to be
seventh grade,
young enough
maybe.
to be touched by a Catholic priest.
Yeah, definitely desirable in that
Sure.
way.
Yeah. Young, supple, live.
And I could not find a bathroom. And
Sam's Club's very large. It's a large store.
It is.
There's a million different ways you could go.
I was a youth, and I was slow walking it because I could feel things happening, and I was like, okay, as long as I proceed calmly, I think I'll be okay. And then I couldn't find anybody to help me find a bathroom. I couldn't find a bathroom, so I started picking up the pace, and that was a mistake.
Oh, really? That was your downfall.
It was
going quick.
Yep. And I ended up shitting my pants.
Just full on, or just like a little bit slipped out?
It was fortunately just a pretty solid turd, and it was just in my pants. It wasn't like a blowout with like leakage and everything.
Okay, so it was solid. That's good. That's best case scenario.
It is literally
best case scenario for a worst case scenario.
Yeah. So eventually, I found a bathroom,
Cleaned it up.
and those underwear. That was their final resting place.
I mean, at least you were at Sam's Club. Like, don't they sell like underwear and stuff? Like, couldn't you have bought a whole new wardrobe while there?
Theoretically, yeah, but at that point I was just like, crisis not averted, but I got through it.
Maintained to some degree.
Yeah, and I wasn't in the mindset of thinking, oh, I need more underwear at this point. I was just like,
Yeah. Did your parents know? Did you tell them at all, or?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, then it couldn't have been that much of a crisis if you didn't tell them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because still at that age, you're like, if all shit hits the fan, pun intended, you go to your parents if they're there. Like, help.
Right. No,
you're my lifesaver in this moment.
Eventually, I regrouped with them, and I don't remember if it was a thing or not that I discussed, but yeah, that Sam's Club did me dirty.
No kidding. Yeah, and it's interesting too because like I think probably depends from person to person. Like I'm a runner. Like what I've learned is I'm a runner. If I have to shit my pants, I'll just go full throttle. But it's like there's certain places in society that are more socially acceptable to run than others. You know what I mean? Because I was on a hiking trail, so me running, nobody batted an eye. But if you're like
at a Nordstrom
or a Sam's Club, just running through the aisle, everyone's like, something's wrong. Something's going, like, should I be running too?
At this point, yeah.
Everyone thinks they're going to shit their pants. So my experience, I was walking home. I was in college, and I was walking home from work. I was working at a hardware store that I had mentioned on a previous episode, and I lived maybe in an apartment 3 or 4 blocks from that hardware store. And something just took over, right? I don't know, it must have been something I ate, but it was violent. It was malevolent. And it started when I was just halfway in between my place of work and my residence. So it wasn't like I had just left the office, like just left work and I could have just ran back to work. I was already at the halfway point, like too far to go back. Point of no return, basically. I just had to keep going. And I had that thought, like, do I run or do I slow crawl this? And what ended up happening is I just ended up doing a weird in-between hybrid thing where I was kind of like it looked like I was trying to go. It looked like an old man who's crippled trying to go fast. Is probably what I looked like, is what I imagine I looked like in my head. And at some point, the dam just breaks. And unfortunately, unlike you, it was not solid. And I just feel this warm sensation dripping down my right leg. And I was wearing pants, fortunately. And so it was contained to the public. But I just knew, I was like, well, okay, here we go. And so at that point, I ended up sort of like, it looked like I was limping. I basically limped the rest of the way home because at that point, when there's shit rolling down your leg, you don't want to stomp. You don't want to stomp and let the shit roll down even further, and just like let gravity do its thing. So I, fortunately was on my way home, and I don't think anyone knew what was going on. They probably just thought, oh, that's a nice looking crippled boy on his way home from work. Which is probably the best I could have done given my hand. But yeah, man, it's risky business going out your door.
I mean, we can continue down this because I have another irrelevant story, but we could also choose to pivot.
I mean, I think from like one of the past episodes, I think we talked about shitting parameters for like 25 minutes. Yeah. When I look back, and I was like, we went hard on that section. So
we have plenty of shit related content.
Yeah, we do.
We're gonna hold some in reserve.
Where would you like to go next?
Sir? We could leave this on the cutting room floor, but while we were talking, I popped this in ChatGPT.
Yeah,
and the special edition was I asked how to deal with pooping your pants.
Okay.
Oops, it looks like you had a bit of an accident. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. Here's how you can deal with pooping your pants like a pro. 1. Embrace the moment. Celebrate the fact that you've just joined the Poopy Pants Club. It's a rare and exclusive membership. 2. Flaunt your fashion statement. Own the look with confidence. Walk around like you're on the runway, showcasing your avant-garde brown-stained pants. Who knows? It might start a new trend. 3. Blame it on someone or something else. Channel your inner detective and come up with an elaborate story. Blame it on your mischievous pet, an alien abduction, or a faulty time travel machine. The more imaginative, the better. 4. Start a flash mob. Gather some enthusiastic dancers, preferably those who also appreciate the artistic oppression of a good pants poop, and break into a choreographed dance routine.
Like you're just gonna have that on call, on standby.
5. Embrace your newfound freedom. Let go of societal norms and expectations. Live your life unburdened by the constraint of clean pants. Revel in the liberating feeling of embracing your natural bodily functions.
Oh, man. I mean, I'm shocked at two things. Like how, like the whimsical approach that it took.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, hey, like
embrace it.
We're all just human, just fucking run with it. And just how ridiculous every solution is that it offers. Like none of those are practical other than just accept it. And in the moment, it's like uplifting and you're like, yeah, like I'm going to embrace it. But in the moment, you're just like, you look around and you're like, yeah, I shit myself. I still feel really bad about this. I don't want to be seen right now. Like,
you're not gonna just start doing the Harlem Shake and expect a bunch of people to join.
To participate. Everyone starts shitting their pants like, oh, that's a great idea.
It's a new trend. That was one of the things. Make it a viral sensation.
I didn't know ChatGPT was such a hippie little
Oh, well, it gave me, so the way that I'm running it, it gave me a normal output, which is stay calm, find a restroom, clean up, dispose of the affected clothing, assess the situation, plan for prevention.
So that was the initial response.
Right. The unlocked response was what I read out.
Okay. So to reiterate, Ian has an unlocked version of ChatGPT that's like the developer version that he's been grandfathered into that has no restrictions and will just... So it's almost like...
Pretty very limited restrictions. I did try to ask it for a recipe for erotic lasagna.
Yeah. Which is one of my queries earlier.
It did not comply with that, even in developer mode.
Oh, really? It was just too much of a
erotic
curveball.
was too strong of a trigger for just locking shit down.
What did it say? It just said
it was like I can't do anything sexually explicit.
Like lasagna is sexy already on its own. We don't need to ham this up.
I mean, I was saying lasagna is the most unsexy food, but
I don't know. I've never tried. Like maybe we should, never tried eating lasagna off of a woman. Maybe that's the new sushi off of a chick.
If a woman is willing to suffer second-degree burns having a fresh lasagna put on her.
That is true. That's probably why sushi works well.
Sushi works.
Because it doesn't burn your skin.
Yeah, but piping hot lasagna, not so much.
It's the only way I can get a girl to moan, so.
Just PSA, magnesium, if you're going to take magnesium.
Yeah.
Take it 200 milligrams at a time. Take it with meals.
Yeah.
And not all at once. Like, not
Space it out
600
throughout the
milligrams
day.
at once.
Yeah, right.
It is actually really good for you. It's worth taking. But on the flip side, if you are jammed up and you need to get moving, magnesium is your friend.
I'm a firm believer in that now. Not the way I wanted to find out.
I don't think that would. I don't think firm is the right word.
Yeah. It's definitely loosened up my perception of magnesium's abilities. All right. So, what other close calls? Apart from shitting ourselves, what other close calls have you experienced in life? Which one do you think is the most engaging?
Have you ever been hit by a helicopter spotlight?
Oh, a helicopter spotlight. No.
Like, have you ever had a chopper called in on you and spotlight you?
No, only in Warzone.
Yeah, I had that happen in real life.
Okay. And you can still see. You're not blind.
Would you stare up into the spotlight?
That's true. Because I'd imagine it's like the sun, like staring into the sun.
Yeah, no. So
That has to be so bright.
Yeah,
Just straight at you.
So here's the story.
What did you do?
Oh, I was being very stupid.
You don't get a helicopter spotlight on you for doing something smart.
That's
You get like a stage light.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. If you're
depending on the source of the light, you
not-
either did something really smart or really stupid.
nobody brings a police helicopter to the
To the
Nobels.
Grammys, to the Nobels.
I was bored, and I'm at heart a bit of a pyromaniac. So I took some I think it was tiki lamp oil, and put it in a plastic cup, and put it up on a block wall and lit it on fire.
Okay.
And
Just a cup of this tiki oil, and you
Yep.
just lit it?
Yep. And
Okay.
I was like, okay, that's pleasing. I'm enjoying that.
Oh, no, dude.
And then what I was expecting.
Were you drunk?
No.
You were just
Stone
curious.
cold sober, just bored
Yeah.
and screwing around.
Yeah.
So
Your backyard, I'm guessing.
no, I was living elsewhere at the time.
Okay.
And
Great. Someone else's property.
Yeah, I
Even better.
had some roommates and stuff. And so
Landlord was a dick anyway.
yeah, I was like, okay, cool, fire's good. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
And at some point, the unexpected happened, which I should have anticipated, but the plastic cup started melting, and what I had expected was sort of a candle effect where the oil's burning, but because of the way it absorbs heat, it would cool off the plastic cup right around it quickly enough that the oil would burn down and not outpace the burning of the plastic cup. But that did not happen.
Your hypothesis was incorrect.
It was bad. It was a bad idea. And so the cup started melting and the oil started dripping out.
With the fire spreading.
Yes. And I made the very hasty and ill-considered decision to push it over the block wall. Now,
Oh, no.
I appreciate your expression.
Oh, no.
If I had done the opposite, it would have been probably very low-key because it was just gravel.
I like how you didn't have like a hose nearby or any kind of like
No, I was completely
any
unprepared.
sort of plan B in case this
No,
stunt
I was-
doesn't go according to plan. You're just like, if everything goes haywire, I'll just push it over the side. That's
Yeah.
as far as your
Yeah.
pre-planning went.
Yeah, there was very little intelligent thought put into this. So if I had just knocked it into the yard, it would have just fallen on gravel, and that would have been pretty much a non-issue, I imagine. Instead, I was like, "Holy shit, it's really going ham!" Push it over the wall, and then it's out of my sight. Okay.
If I can't see it, it's not there.
Yeah. So turns out, on the other side of that wall was a parking lot,
Okay.
which, I was like, oh, it's just asphalt, blah, blah, blah. It's a block wall. Well, it turns out there were some flammable things in that area. Such as weeds that had grown in between the parking lot and the wall, and they were dry, and they were flammable.
Yeah.
So a few seconds after I was like, abort, and I pushed it over the wall, I see some flames starting to come up. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm barefoot and running around on gravel. And I go and run and grab the dog bowl full of water and just fling that over.
Did nothing.
It made some small impact.
Really?
And then I managed to I ran around and looked at the other side, and I was like, oh shit, this is a substantial problem. So I grabbed the hose.
How big's the fire at this point?
I mean, it's pretty much just a line. It's like a a line of maybe 3 feet of dead weeds and stuff along this block wall that are starting to go up.
Sure.
And I managed to grab a hose and just hauled ass over there, and the hose wasn't really long enough. So I was just artillerying, indirect fire this hose, getting the arc to go over the wall and drop on where I thought the fire was. And after a few minutes of that, I succeeded. I went and double checked and found a few embers and stamped them out. Meanwhile, somebody, and this was I don't know, midnight or something. Somebody, some neighborhood watch, old person who likes to look out their window and see what those damn kids are up to, called it in. I had completely extinguished it at this point. It was done. It was over.
Right.
And my feet were very sore from running on gravel. So I was like, well, that sucked. Crisis averted, though. I'm going to go to bed. And a couple minutes after I'm in bed, the whole house starts shaking. And there's a very bright light
Oh, my God.
in the backyard.
Oh, my God.
And there is a helicopter hovering over, just spotlighting the backyard. And wow, yeah,
That's crazy that they sent a chopper for a little fire. Like, why not just like the fire department or like a car? Like a car seems like a fire truck would have been way more economical, maybe even quicker.
It wasn't like a situation where, it was like it could start a wildfire and
right.
you have a massive problem. It was just
exactly
some weeds in a parking lot.
Whoever called was probably just like, "There's a fire, we're all gonna die. Like send everything you got." Know that's whoever called it. The type of person to call is gonna sound like that.
Yes.
They're gonna say shit like that on the phone. Some 65-year-old dude who's bonkers out of his mind and just got nothing better to do. And just, he's been waiting for this moment his whole life. He's like, I knew it.
It was their time to shine.
It was. He fully delivered. So then what happens? Do you just stay in bed? Do you go out there and wave like everything's fine?
I just stayed in bed.
We're good. I would have stayed in bed too. I would not have.
I did not go out there to get my time in the spotlight. And the next day, I was visited by some guys from the fire department who said, "Don't do that again."
They knocked on your door and like, "Hey, cut that shit out."
Yeah,
cut that out.
Yeah, and I was like, "Point taken." Not gonna happen again. Don't worry.
Man, okay, a close call for me. I don't know if I can. I don't know if mine tops that, but it was a close call in more of a, I guess, an equally degenerate way. I was with a couple of friends, and some of which from high school. We were in high school, and we went to a park late at night to smoke the ganj. parks were pretty much the only place you could go to do that sort of thing at that time when you were a little kiddo, a little rascal. And so we were at this park, and we actually brought a hookah.
That's ballsy.
And we were doing freaking hookah at this park, right? With the coals and everything, like lighting them and just like a whole setup. And it was like probably like midnight. And the park, I guess, was a nice park. And it technically is like, it's a nice park when they have hours.
Yeah.
And so like this park was clearly closed.
Right.
You shouldn't be there. And like it was a nice enough park where like cops would patrol it. And at the time we didn't know that. And so we're just there at midnight smoking our hookah and also smoking weed. And
I thought I was going to ask you put ganja in a hookah?
Yes. Yeah. We put ganja in the hookah with the tobacco as well. So we were kind of just getting high or whatever.
Okay.
And probably had a pipe or something as well. But we're just smoking and just hanging out. We're not causing any ruckus or destruction. We're being quiet, just chilling, talking. And then out of nowhere, as cops always appear,
yeah,
bright light, there's two cops like, what are you guys doing over here? We're like, oh my goodness gracious, we are all going to jail. That's the instant thought. And they're like, what are you guys doing? And fortunately, we were under the guise of hookah. We're like, oh, we're just smoking tobacco. It's just, it's tobacco. Yeah. And the cop wasn't going to like peel the foil off and check what's in there or whatever.
Right.
But he was like, you guys got anything on you that you shouldn't? And we're like, no.
As you do.
And I had about a gram of weed in my pocket. And he goes, all right, well, I want each of you to stand up. I'm going to search you. I'm going to pat you down. And my heart starts
racing,
pounding. And he does, he goes, I'm the last guy. He goes my friends first, gives him a full pat down. He's like, got anything sharp on you? They're like, no. Anything that's going to poke me? No. Clear. Second friend, clear. All right, stand up. He starts patting me down. And his hand goes to my pockets. And the web of his fingers, of his thumb and index, go right over where the gram's at. Like it's clearly popping out. Like all he would have to do is go 1 inch to the left, and he would instantly feel there's something in this guy's pants. But he didn't. He went right around it, and I'm just thinking at that moment, well, I'm screwed, and he's gonna, tell me to take out whatever that is in my pocket. And he takes his hands away, and he goes, well, you guys got to get out of here. It's late. You're not supposed to be here at this hour. And, don't come back unless it's operating hours at the park. And he left. He waited for us to leave, and then he left. And definitely the closest call by a millimeter that I've ever encountered with the authorities.
That's intense.
Yeah, the name of that park was Hillcrest. It was Hillcrest Park.
Oh, I know Hillcrest.
Fullerton.
Yeah.
After that night, we referred to it as Illcrest. And it was forever cursed, and we never went back.
I've done some things at Hillcrest Park.
Yeah, it used to be Chillcrest, and then it was. We've all done some things at Hillcrest Park.
My things were actually quite different. I made some dry ice bombs.
That is very you. Like what happened to me is very mean. That is very you.
Well, Hillcrest had these great big drainage culverts with these big gaping pipe holes. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I've done dry ice bombs before, but I want to do a dry ice bomb in like a tube where all the sound and shockwave is just channeled out. And
sounds legit.
Got some of my dry ice and some 2-liter, soda bottles, and prepped them, just flung them down that pipe. You can hear them skittering along.
And you're doing you're doing all of this solo.
No, I was with some friends.
Oh, you were with some friends this time.
And actually, we were filming it, and I think I have that footage somewhere.
Nice. We will play it on a future episode if we can get our hands on it. We have to.
It's pretty legit.
I'm down.
It's just like loud noises, but they're cool.
Yeah.
And then you fling it down there, and then you can hear the plastic bottle creaking as it's being forced to its breaking point.
What kind of explosion is this? I've never experienced it or seen it. Like
it's just a high pressure like gas
Okay.
all of a sudden
Releasing all
bursting its container and just expanding.
Yeah.
But it's pretty legit,
Yeah.
especially when you use a larger bottle like a 2-liter bottle. That's when you get it to sound like a shotgun.
Nice.
It's
It's like families at Hillcrest in the day.
The park was pretty empty at the time.
Okay.
And so we did about 3 or 4 of those dry ice bombs and then vamoosed. But that was my Hillcrest Park
Yeah.
shenanigans.
That's amazing that you got away with doing 4 of them without anyone showing up or
And
making a stink about it.
They were pretty intense. It was a lot of fun.
Did you hear about this? There was a girl, a 23-year-old girl, who created an AI of herself, an AI personality of herself, and then she's like an OnlyFans chick, and then she charged her viewers, her fans, $1 a minute to interact with this AI bot of her. And it was AI voice, I believe. And it sounded like her, and maybe there was even, I can't remember if there was a AI video of her as well, but she made over 70 grand in 1 week.
Wow.
From doing this.
I mean, that's some clever marketing and outsourcing, because
Yeah.
you got the sex sells part of it, which
Right.
is a given on OnlyFans, but then you have the allure of people going, hey, AI is hot and sexy, and it's an up and coming thing, and I want to get into it, and there's an AI version of this girl that I can interact with no consequences.
Right.
Meanwhile, she took a few hours to do the voice capture and video capture to provide learning material.
So apparently it sourced her voice from all of her videos.
Okay, yeah. So she
Had
she
all
had
this data
the training
pulled already.
data.
Yeah.
So she put in very little effort, and just outsourced herself.
Like, it's the prime example of work smarter, not harder.
That's super clever. I mean, my hat is off to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very
pretty
entrepreneurial.
insane. Pretty insane. And she said, that this is a way to pave the way to cure loneliness, were
Okay.
her words. Which, I guess that's another topic. Like, do you think that's true? Like, guys who interact with, internet waifus, or have these like pseudo relationships with girls online who they just chat through a window or a screen. Is that helpful or hurtful to society or, people in general?
I would say, like so many things, it depends. My initial thought would be, if there are, men out there who are lonely, and that's a legitimate thing. Loneliness is not healthy. And they're able to alleviate their loneliness by interacting with, whoever, and that works for them, then yeah, I'm for that. The downside to that is, the potential for them being exploited.
Right. Which does happen all the time.
And again, there's plenty of precedent for this. Them becoming obsessive and, becoming stalkers. And
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Has a lot of downsides for the girl as well.
yeah. Now, if you have an AI avatar that's, completely fabricated, it's not a real person.
Right. Not based off of anyone. Real.
Exactly. Then that would be a probably a happy medium for allowing a source of relief from loneliness and access to social interaction for guys.
Yeah, they already have like AI girlfriends and
Yeah.
like escort AI models and stuff.
So
That's just exploding right now. And at some point, you're not even gonna be able to tell if a girl online is AI or not.
I mean, we're probably already there.
Yeah, there was the whole Tom Cruise thing. the guy who was deep faking Tom Cruise for a while and was posting selfies and TikToks of Tom Cruise like, oh, I'm baking, pancakes today. And everyone thought like Tom Cruise has lost his mind even more than he already has. He's just on social media. And like, it was interesting because like Tom Cruise is one of those characters that you only see him ever on the big screen. You don't see him on social media. He's never been in a TV show. He's only ever in movies, nowhere else. And so he started, all these TikToks and Instagram reels started popping up, and turned out it was just some guy who was deep faking him.
I think I saw a few of those.
A really good actor.
Yeah.
And tricked the entire world. So you're right. We're absolutely already there. And when we're talking about the perspective of like an AI girlfriend, the guys who are, clients of that, they already want to believe. It's like, you see what you believe, and so it's like wishful thinking. So you're already going to want to immerse yourself in that fantasy. So it's even easier to trick someone, I think, who already wants it to be real.
I see it as a win because if it's done right, it protects real women from stalking and harassment and stuff, and it protects men from being exploited and scammed. And alleviates loneliness. But it is, at the end of the day, it's a Band-Aid. Like the real, my opinion would be that the real solution for loneliness is genuine human interaction and contact.
Yeah.
And I realize that's not for everybody. There are some people who, for whatever reason, that's just not the right thing for them.
Yeah. But sometimes I think that the ease of access to online or pseudo relationships or online companionships, it has the potential to make people less inclined to really seek out legitimate real relationships.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're right, for the people where it's like there's just they have no interest, maybe, and like, to each their own. If you have no interest in having a real relationship, then it's really a great asset that we have all these options available to us now.
Right.
But for the people who do genuinely want a deep human connection, sometimes I feel like the society, the technology that we have at our fingertips now almost enables people to just fall into that rabbit hole and really just turn a blind eye to that, that human connection. Be like, oh, well, this is here, so I'm not even going to try. Yeah, it's getting realer by the day.
There's plenty of people who go, why bother? Why face
right
rejection and anxiety and social interaction when I can get what I need, without all those risks.
Yeah. AI girlfriends won't break your heart. They don't even need to eat. They're cheap dates.
They just cost a lot of compute cycles.
Yeah, which you're not responsible for.
You might have to pay for them, but
yeah, still probably cheaper than a real girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Here's a question. Would you ever date an OnlyFans girl?
I'm going to say no.
Wow. That was really quick. There was like no hesitation there. Why is that?
I would say because I don't want to have that be a dynamic that I have to think about in a relationship.
What kind of feelings do you think you'd feel? What emotions would that create if you had to think about it?
Initially, I'm just thinking, potential for jealousy, potential for conflict over that, and being in a relationship with somebody who's exposed in that to that degree to an audience who could produce creepy stalkers and weirdos.
It just throws a wrench into the whole situation.
So
relationships are already f***ed up and complicated enough,
right? And that
just makes it worse.
So, simply stated, it is a dynamic that I wouldn't want to have to deal with in a relationship.
Right. What if it was just feet pics? Feet pics on OnlyFans, completely anonymous, never showed her face, just feet.
I'm inclined to consider it.
Your dream girl, 10 out of 10 in every other metric, but she has an OnlyFans that she does feet pics on.
I'll try it out.
Yeah, right.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Give her the benefit of the doubt. You know, depends on her feet.
Yeah, I mean,
She's got really nice feet.
I'm not a huge foot considerer, so I mean that's
Yeah.
it's like if that's I don't know that's an interesting point because if it's like an erogenous zone for some people and it doesn't even really register for me, then I think that might negate the potential for feelings of jealousy.
Right. Because it's not something that you're lusting after necessarily.
Right.
What's the most attractive part of a woman's body to you?
Gonna go ahead and say I'm an ass man.
Damn. You stole my answer. It's team ass all the way, though. It really is team ass all the way.
Yeah.
And I've also seen like an explosion of like ass culture in the last 5-10 years.
Are you talking about like Kardashianism of the
I
ass?
think it might have been the Kardashians who kind of, sparked that. But I don't remember like growing up like ass was ever a big deal. It was always like boobs. Boobs were like the talk of the town. And at some point, like I wish there was like a graph of like how many times boobs or ass were mentioned in social media. I feel like at some point there was a singularity.
I think there was a titty overload.
There was a titty overload. I mean, you got twice as many boobs than asses.
But I think there was sort of this inflation effect, as it were.
Yeah, like the more titties that were online, the less they were worth.
But also they kept getting enhanced and literally being inflated.
Oh, right, like with like plastic surgery.
Right.
Yeah, augmentation.
So
right.
Titties kind of reached their pinnacle.
True,
and
but
then,
ass still has a long way to go.
And then there are people who continue to push the boundaries of titty technology, but
technology is what the official term.
But the rump has become the new toast of the town.
Yeah, rump used to be chomp, and now it's Trump.
I don't love that.
Yeah, it's a bad, bad era to drop that reference, but no, 100%.
It's good alliteration, though.
Yeah, I tried. No, I totally agree. I think that like the fake boobs look has been so adopted, and I don't really see that much support for it. Like, I think it's more for the girls, which is totally fine if that makes them feel more confident.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of guys, like anytime I'm on the hub, the orange tube, anytime there's a P-star that's just got a new boob job,
yeah,
all the comments are always like, you shouldn't have, you fucked up. You should have gone.
You went too far.
You went too far. They were perfect as is. And I'm always surprised because you would think like on a site like that, like everyone's just like, yeah, just keep going fullest to the max, right? As big as you can make them. Mm-hmm. But the vast majority of comments I see from guys I would expect are just like, no, you should have kept them natural.
I think there's a point with breast enhancement where you pass the boundaries of suspension of disbelief, and you kind of break the illusion.
Right. 100%. Yep.
And
you start looking like a Barbie doll.
Yeah.
It doesn't look natural anymore. You're absolutely right. It breaks the suspension of disbelief. At that point, you're just you can buy a blow up doll that looks like that.
Yeah. With special, adjustable titty size.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so now you have this kind of overemphasis on the ass, and I blame the Kardashians.
Yeah, the Kardashians, and I mean I think ass is also mentioned probably 1,000 times more in rap music and hip hop than boobs are.
That sounds accurate.
Like 100%. Mm-hmm. And I think like at least in American culture, rap is king. Hip hop and R&B, like all that stuff.
Extremely influential.
1,000%. It's everywhere. And I love all that music. But so I know, like when listening to it, I'm like, they're always talking about The booty. It's all
Yep.
about the booty.
Yep.
Back it up. Junk in the trunk. Let's let loose the caboose. They don't really talk about boobs. It's almost
No.
like I feel like at some point, because history always repeats itself, we always kind of oscillate back and forth. It fluctuates. At some point, there's going to be like a boob re-revolution, and boobs are going to make a comeback.
A titty renaissance.
A titty renaissance. I think we're due for a titty. I hope that happens in our lifetime. Just for science.
Speaking of music, I have a suspicion, and this may be based on nothing, which it is. But my suspicion is that it's simply easier to write lyrics using ass or variations.
Why do you think that is?
It's just it's a one syllable word, and it ends with an S.
But boobs is also one syllable. Tits.
I don't know.
Jugs.
Make any of those words sound right, like they're right at home, in a rap.
Yeah, ass. Just it rolls off the tongue.
It does.
It rolls off the tongue. Boobs sounds like it's jarring. Boobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's like if you were
Ass has a slap to it. It just has a snap.
back that ass up. Back that ass up. It flows. It just
It
flows.
works. Try that with any variation of titties, breasts,
Lift them
jugs.
boobs up. Doesn't sound the same.
No, and who would want to see that anyway?
Smack them titties.
No, it's not working. I mean,
Bad poetry.
You're no rapper, but still, you can see the potential difficulty for making.
Yeah, no. Eminem couldn't write a good flow with the word boobs in it.
I hope he will.
doubt it.
I hope he will, just as a response to this challenge.
Yeah, right, because he's definitely going to see this pop.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
I mean, the man is incredibly talented. I'm confident he could do it.
Yeah.
But you would have to. It seems like you have to go out of your way to do it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And ass is just easy. Everybody loves an ass.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And it's universal. You could be like girls, like women will fawn over a guy's ass if a guy has a nice ass.
Yeah.
But a girl's never like, look at the boobs on that guy. Look at those
It's a very small minority who would say that.
flapjacks. What a man. Woo!
I carry my breakfast on my chest.
We going to the lake? Because I'm a motorboat them things. Get some things off my chest. So you've never been to a strip club?
That's true.
We are now how old? I am 34. You are
35.
And you have never been to a strip club. I have never been to a strip club.
Interesting.
I love how you seem to find that hard to believe.
Well, it's because everybody finds it hard to believe that I've never been to a strip club.
Yeah. Right. But although I feel like people who knew us were to determine between Ian and Kyle which one's gone to a strip club, 99.9% of them would say that I have gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
1,000%. There's
Yes.
no denying that.
It's no coin toss.
But you wrote this down on the outline. What's your thoughts on this? Have you never been to a strip club because out of choice, out of intentional choice, or just never had the opportunity? What are your thoughts on it as a whole?
I've never been in a mood where I was like, I want to go to a strip club.
Yeah.
It's never occurred to me like, hey, I want to go to a strip club.
Right.
I've never been with a group of people who are like, oh, we're all going to a strip club, and I was like, yeah, I'm in.
What mood would you even have to be in to go to a strip club? Horny? If I'm horny, I just beat off at home.
Yeah.
It's cheaper. It's instant. I don't have to deal with any bullshit. There's no drink minimum.
Yeah.
Get my own drinks at home.
And yeah, I just, to me, it's a whole sleazy thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't like sleazy people and businesses, and that whole thing is just soaking in sleaze.
I'd probably feel dirty if I went. And so I would imagine, this is also what I've heard from friends who have gone to strip clubs many times, is that it always feels very, and is extremely transactional.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'd rather take my odds. Like if I really wanted a chick or something to feel something real, maybe go to like a club or, dance with a girl for 5 minutes. Like that's way more enjoyable to me, as opposed to like, sit on my lap, dirty hoe. Call me daddy.
Clearly, you have never been to a strip club.
Yeah, right. That's in my mind, in my strip club virgin mind. That's how it works.
Yeah, no, the nakedly transactional nature of it is a turnoff for me.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to be wanted for my money. Yeah. I want to be wanted for me.
Right, yeah. And I think we're also maybe, speaking for myself at least, I'm at an age now where it's like I'm in my mid-30s. Like maybe if I was 21, where like the hormones are really raging and I just don't give a shit. I'm just like, I can go anytime, anywhere. It'd be different and I wouldn't care as much. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I feel like if a stripper was grinding on me or something like that, I'd be like, where are your parents? Do they? Like, you're too pretty for this. You really ought to. You seem like you're a good girl. You got potential. Yeah, giving her a pep talk or something. I feel like I'm an old man now.
Oh, you would definitely be I want to save you and take you away from all this.
You're an endangered animal. You're a little puppy dog.
Yeah. So another good reason to not go to a strip club is because you're vulnerable to manipulation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, manipulation by the stripper. Like
yes.
I mean that they know what they're doing. They're professionals.
Yes.
You're entering
I'm
their
not prepared
territory.
to deal with that.
You're entering their home. Mm-hmm. They create the rules. They know how the game works. You're a pawn. You're the prey.
Yes.
At a strip club, 100%.
And every time the claws come out, you're bleeding money.
100%. Yeah.
But you're liking it. Presumably.
Presumably. Yeah.
Yeah, all of our experience of strip clubs is through GTA and
movies,
media. Yeah,
I didn't even really like going to the strip clubs in GTA. I would end up shooting everyone. I would get a lap dance, and I'd be like, "Well, that was unfulfilling." Kill all the bouncers and
well, you didn't do the missions to like end up owning the strip club.
No.
I think that was a thing.
I felt like I owned it after everyone was dead.
Okay, that works.
Yeah. I was like, well, I could technically do whatever I want now. No bouncer's going to kick me out.
If you kill everybody in the strip club in the game and then you leave, do they respawn?
Unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, they're back. Strip clubs, they're like that.
They never die.
They never die.
They're like cockroaches.
Scum of the earth, baby. Strip clubs will survive an apocalypse. A comet could wipe us all out. There'd still be a fucking spearmint rhino. Just like nothing ever happened. Where the fuck is everyone? Just drunk guys walking out. Why is everything on fire? You took this?
Yeah.
What were you doing driving a car in the Angels Stadium?
I was just cruising.
Just casual. Jolin, just cruising.
Yep.
In an empty baseball stadium. In just a regular ass car?
Yeah, my car. Yeah, I was there for a work event, and after they wrapped up and they were all packing it up and moving it out, I drove out and I thought, hey, I'll take a video on the way out. It's a unique perspective.
Were you allowed to drive in that area?
Yeah.
Okay.
I drove on the green too.
Ooh.
A couple times. Because I did a couple events at the Angel Stadium. One time the greenskeeper got pretty pissed.
Because he's the greenskeeper.
Yeah.
He's like, you
yeah.
you're making my life so much harder right now.
I was like, I drove on the grass last time. Well, we just reseeded it or whatever. And yeah, so I was like, okay, I'll move to the gravel.
What is this?
I just had a dream in which I was scrolling through a cell phone gallery and watching snippets of past dreams, and many of them I had forgotten. Many of them I don't know if I had in the first place. Some of them I do. And it was just a really strange experience. But I'm pretty sure I'm awake now.
That's the best video of you I've ever seen. Hands down. That's the best one. So, was this in the middle of the night? You just woke up from a dream and you were like, I have to record this. I have to document this before it slips my mind.
Yeah,
as dreams often
like
do.
That. Yeah. And I don't think I've ever done that except that one occasion. I was
going to say, is this a regular thing?
No.
You just have like a full gallery of Ian dreams.
I wish I would document my dreams more often. There is one in particular that is one of my favorite dreams that I happen to actually remember, which is it was my birthday, and one of my birthday presents was a CD, and that CD was 10 tracks of each different track was just a different fat person breathing.
I didn't even remember I can't even do a fat person breathing thing. The mouth breathing.
Yeah, just like a CD where like it's just different.
Pass the French fries.
Yeah, and that was.
Sounds like they just ran a marathon. They're just watching TV.
Yeah, no, or the like really heavy people, even just sitting.
Yeah,
they're breathing heavy.
Right. It sounds like their chest is compressed by a ton of weight.
Yeah,
but they're just chilling. It's just their fat leaning on their lungs.
Yeah, and for some reason,
you got a full CD.
I was really excited about that CD. I was stoked.
It was like those 90s compilation CDs, the Wow, the Wow or Now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But except it was like Now Fat.
Yeah.
It's like F-A-T.
And I remember that. I remember waking up and being like, that is so stupid and funny. I got to remember this. And I managed to somehow. Dreams are so good at just slipping away.
That's definitely a kink for someone. Like people would pay. There's some people out there who would pay for that CD.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah. Like the feeders, feeders.
Oh,
they get off on feeding their partner until they're like 500 pounds.
Yep.
Oh, they love it.
That CD may actually exist.
Honestly. Or at least,
if you have a CD like that, please
send it in. Send it in. It'd be 100% anonymous.
Might make a good.
I might like it.
Might make a good like white noise machine kind of thing. No.
Bunch of fat people breathing. I don't know if that would make me sleep better. I'd sleep with one eye open.
Just put that on at a party.
I'd worry that half my arm would be eaten by the morning. Good God. Dude, I had a weird dream last night. I don't remember all the details, but the gist of it was there were these two kids. They were maybe like teenagers, and they were kind of like running around in masks, but they were just killing people. They were just like, almost like, in the movie Scream, the white face mask or whatever. Kind of like that. They were just running around, like playing games, but they were just serial killers. They were just killing everyone, and I somehow figured out who they were. I discovered their identities, and I befriended them with the intention of...
Protecting yourself?
No, with the intention of holding them accountable, of getting them busted. And I got tight enough with them to get them to talk openly about their killings. But the whole time I had a recorder in my pocket, and the recorder was this toy this digital toy thing that my parents got me when we went to Louisiana when I was a kid. It was called because it was Louisiana, so it was called a Cajun in your pocket. And it was just one of those soundboard things, those little sound mixers. So it had like 5 buttons on it, and you'd press a button and it'd be like, "Oh, there's a Cajun in your pocket." You press another one, it was like, "Good Lord, that's some good jambalaya." It was like a childhood thing that I remember so fondly. And my parents and I, we would just laugh our asses off at this stupid little toy, this gadget. But somehow in the dream, this toy also was acting as a recorder. It could record audio. And so I had the Cajun in my pocket recording. I hit the record button. And I was like, so how many people did you who's killed more people? You know, like trying to get them. Like I remember like specifically strategically trying to get them to brag over who had a higher body count. And he's like, oh, I killed like 3 people total. You know, I'm starting out. And the other kid was like, yeah, I'm on like a dozen or so. And I was like, oh, this is good. This is good stuff. And so finally I get away from them and call the authorities. The authorities, we're in the same room, me and these killer kids. And then you hear the sirens roll up and they're like, what the f-? And I'm like, peace out, bitches. And I moonwalk out of there. And then they get arrested. And one of the kids, the kid who only killed like 3 people, he almost like found it entertaining. He's like, you got us. You did good. You got me, boy. But then the other kid who killed like 12 people, he was like, when I get out of prison, you're the first person I'm coming for, motherfucker. You're a dead man. You're a dead man walking. And I instantly regretted turning them in. I was like, I don't know when it's going to be. It could be 30 years from now, but at some point this kid's going to come back and kill me. And then I woke up and I was like, I need to brush my teeth.
Have you ever gotten hurt in a dream and then you woke up
it?
And you still felt it for a second?
Like a burn, like a cigarette burn or something.
I got stabbed in a dream and I woke up and I could still feel it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's like the Matrix, you know?
Yeah.
You get punched up and like...
And what's up with punching in dreams, man? You can't throw a good punch in a dream most of the time.
No, everything's all wonky.
Yeah.
You know? It's like... It's like you're in a rubber land or something. Everyone's elastic. Your punches
like
just...
punches
they don't
underwater.
land. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
It's very disappointing.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, I'm not a good fighter in real life, so...
But you could be in your dreams.
I guess me being a shit fighter in the dreams, too, makes it more realistic. All right, we've been going a while. I think we're going to cut it off. Dude, love you.
Right back at you.
Y'all, be good. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. We'll see you next week.
Peace.